I don't need another second place. I want to win.
Ben, you're always going to be playing a game of catch-up, right? Because your swim isn't anywhere near TO's level, and which is that front pack of 5 or 6 guys. How are you going to match those guys that are going off the front?
Well, I think this is the funny part about Kona, right? I feel like there's always this analysis afterwards and this sort of overreaction generally. And honestly, I look at it and you take Jan's just absolutely world-class, otherworldly performance out of this equation, and I'm basically within a couple of minutes of the win. So, I think we can't expect that Jan's going to be here forever and that he's going to continue to do those performances. And I think I'm close enough that it's not a matter of rewriting everything I'm doing. It's just about improving incrementally.
I think Ben's right. You see guys overreact. They analyze every year is unique, right? Overanalyze the previous year, and I did it a couple of years ago. I'm like, I got to be ready to run fast, and I was in great run shape, but I was a dog on the bike, and then you override, and your race is ruined. So, yeah, you got to know. You've got to have a game plan on how you're going to win. You got to know your strengths, position yourself properly, and then just let the cards fall, right?
You have to be willing to fail. You have to risk it all. Absolutely. At some point in the race, you have to throw it all in and say, this is going one of two ways. I'm winning a world title, or I'm going to explode and be taken off in a stretcher. And if you're willing to do that, which more and more I am, because I am confident in myself as an athlete, in my palmares, my history, I don't need another second place. I want to win. So I'm willing to risk it all.
In terms of winning rate, you've won the more Ironmans. You know how to win. Do you think you'd have the edge because you know how you've won more Ironmans? But if we look at Kona, Tio's got the better time. And can you run it? Do you think you can break? You're going to have to break 8 hours now to beat Tio. Do you have the ability to do that?
Yeah, I was just within striking distance of it this past year, and I certainly think I'm capable. I look back and I say I didn't have my perfect race. And I still have room to grow as an athlete. So let's say I improve just ever so much, 1%. I'm pretty much there. So yeah, of course I believe it. If I didn't, I wouldn't be pedaling the bike right now.
Do you think there's a way, Ben, between the two of you could somehow make a win happen for America?
Yeah, blow yourself up. I'll take the win.
I can just lay my bike down in front of the front group, Ben. Just take everybody out.
Tio, you mentioned that in your lifetime, you think you're going to see Kona 1 in the 7:30s range. What's limiting you from doing that next year?
Just because someone may do 7:30 in my lifetime doesn't mean 7:30 is going to be what it takes to win while we're racing right now. So right now my focus on is just becoming a better marathon runner off the bike. Last year was my fastest run in Kona, 2:49, and it was off of minimal run training.
Yeah, you outran Rooney.
Yeah, finally. Geez, it only took me a decade.
Now being that you're 39, do you look at it and go, okay, from now on, I don't care about anything else. It's just the win.
Yeah, for sure. And I actually doing some renewals this year with some partners. I said, hey, listen, we got to structure the deals like this because I want to take some risks in Kona.
And Ben, what about yourself, mate? You mentioned it's a win at all cost.
Like Tio said, it's not just something that happens overnight, but we've been working our whole careers to get to this point. It's a sweet spot now. And, hopefully we're producing our best performances, but it doesn't mean that you stop working at it, that you're not constantly evaluating your weaknesses.
You two looking at this next phase, Tio, you've got a few more years. Ben, you've got a few more years. Specifically in the evolution of the sport, it's going to keep improving, it's going to keep going faster. What is the couple of things that you can bring into your team, in your stable, to specific to you guys, to be the Americans that are going to make this evolution happen?
I feel I have the best team around me now ever. Took me a while to get there, but I do feel like maybe Europe, in terms of training programs and using data, is ahead of here in the U.S. I do think developmental programs, like Ben was saying, with Great Britain's developmental programs, are super important. But it just took me time as an athlete and as a person to figure it out. I've always been a slow learner. Ask my parents, ask my siblings, but I've always stuck to things. And that's who I am. And me being in the sport's not going to change. I've gone through that same process, just like I do with everything else. It just takes some time. But, working with Julie and now Matt Bottrell. Matt Bottrell is out in the UK, very much into time trialing. Time trialing in the UK is insanely popular. They put a lot of money into R&D, and I've learned a lot. So it's just unfortunately playing catch up a little bit, but it is what it is.
I agree. Hey, GB, in all seriousness, before we're done, what do you think we need to be doing?
I do think there's a lot to the brain we don't understand. I think there's a lot to the DNA. I think we need to go deeper. I think we do blood panels and we do all sorts of things. I think we've got to be specific on our DNA. So really optimizing our strengths, but supporting our weaknesses, but understanding that the core of who we are in terms of genetics. So I think that's the future of the sport. And then I also think working out, visualizing the mental strategies and how you can affect yourself hormonally through really great visualizing and word affirmations, I think is huge. I think all of that correlates to a physical presence. I think the power of the mind we're only just tapping into it. And then in terms of physical training, like you said, outsourcing to the best team you can, whether that be the UK or whoever it is.
To finish it off, Greg, what happened to you in Kona?
I got to see the grass grow on the side of a lead.
I remember Greg, the first 40K, just flying by me, smiling, going off the front.
I got my time of glory there.
I started shaking my head. I'm like, oh boy, it's gonna be a long day for that guy.
Turbo Talks, that was fantastic. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks to you both.